Hello, thank you for inviting me. What a wonderful group of people to be in front of. What a wonderful group of people to follow up in speaking. I just want to say thanks for inviting me, for being a part of this. It's a crucial time to push for human values. Just before my reading, I'd want to say a few things about myself and the recent earthquakes that shook Turkey and Syria. I am an activist and a writer with the debut poetry book on the way. I'm exiled to the UK due to political pressures in Turkey, like my father, a journalist, being jailed and shot at for his reporting back home, so it wasn't exactly safe for us. But I want to talk about the earthquake just a little bit because it has a message to a world in crisis. I think we were profoundly shaken by it, those affected and not, that when it all comes down, common people are the ones who stand up for one another, that the governments can and do fail you in moments of crisis. And we cannot just talk about some reoccurring crisis the world is having, but when the corruption and inadequacy of the government are unveiled, then almost this mask of a lion falls to a cornered cat. And they attempt to cover up failures by gaslighting the public, redirecting anger towards dissent, journalists, and even the most vulnerable, immigrants, or those shaken by the earthquakes for criticizing them were prosecuted in Turkey. So these tactics don't sound so far to me from those in Hungary or Russia or the UK with this immigration bill, showing that those against human values are already in sync. And the catastrophe in Turkey reminded us the common nature of all of our problems and that we need to act collectively to solve them, putting ideologies to one side. Our differences matter and are worth struggling over, but not as urgently as saving someone from a rubble or other common problems we have at hand that breach the boundaries of our divisions. And I wondered, watching this earthquake, if only we could all see each other always the way that we do under crisis, as fellow human beings worthy of dignity, worthy of support. And it shouldn't take an earthquake to realize this, but suddenly as a society, everybody was helping everybody, not checking if they were Islamists or secular, and of course, no brainer, right? But whether it is the cost of living, wealth inequality, climate change, or wars, we're facing many crises with root causes and devastating effects intricately interlinked. In political failures, but we don't act like it, really. We don't act like we're in a crisis as much as Turkey did under earthquakes until something hits us, reminding of the priorities of our common needs. Um, and I want to say that knowing that a global family has your back when governments that should not only refuse to, but target you is priceless. So you all matter immensely to anyone who might be struggling through their journey of immigration or with any one of these crises. In fact, George Orwell said in one of his live final interviews, if you want a picture of the future, imagine a boot stomping on a human face forever. But he added, if we don't do something about it. So the same can be said for natural catastrophes. I mean, I ran away from Turkey from such authoritarian tendencies of twisting facts, demonizing people, but was horrified to see it here in the new immigration bill. And back there in Turkey, all I can say is we're witnessing how coordinating with fellow people, pushing for change, regardless of ideology, regardless of background, is our only way out of total darkness, in a way, digging each other out of the debris of insufferable inequality. And more people will be on the move than ever with these challenges, which reminds me of Leonard Cohen's lines that every heart to love will come, but like a refugee. And let's not wait until we all become a real one from our communities, countries, and lastly, our planet. And this is a poem called Celestial Womb. I will quickly read it before. It's me again, and these molecules I was brewed from, coagulated an island like the earth, encased in countless layers. My mother and father, but also the raw material of our handmade table, the roof we embrace under, and the dynasty of stars shining minuscule cracks through a titanic darkness. The search was from where I started to where I've been all this time. Loss upon loss, I came to find what's once put together can't be fully torn aside. Imagine the feeling of being up there, beyond the sky, dazed in the sight of what we all feel whirling around, moving through the ages, how folks once thought it stood on the backs of gods or the horns of a brazen bull, alas. From such a distance, you'd come to think eventually about just how the truth came so slowly, but then so suddenly and so clearly. Space unveiled ahead, a quietude akin to death, a blue cocoon behind, vacuumed, like the shelter that is a breath. Steady gravity and anchor like our mothers who ground us all. We should remember and never forget how through the dark ages in copper, bronze, and beyond, in caves of mystery we endured and thrived and climbed, and how the truth came so slowly, but then so suddenly and so clearly. As we took off from the earth, how it was instantly laid bare to the first sets of astronauts' eyes who were refugees, that took a look back over the shoulders of giants at what our borders and fables down below would turn to seem as they strive for survival. The overview effect of knowing how all around us all, everything was born and dear departed in this celestial one. Thank you.